The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
You know, out in Nevada near the silver mines, there's a kind-hearted woman. She's looking so fine, always taking care of her community. Bringing folks together is her cup of tea. She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
And welcome to this week's episode of City Talk, and I'm About Town Deb, your host, Debbie McCarthy. We are, as usual, we are at the National Automobile Museum in Reno, Nevada, right on the river, which is amazing. The weather, well, actually today, the weather's a little cloudy, but I hear that spring and summer, I guess it's summer. Summer is in the air coming up. I don't know, but I'm going to have Kristian chime in. So before we get started, Kristian, who is my producer engineer with FenixMedia.us, so you always hear me say behind the curtain. He's in front of the curtain.
I'm here.
Hello. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. I never get to have you to myself.
Yeah, and
I have to share you.
Well, and it just worked out today that, unfortunately your guest wasn't able to make it. So I was here and
I'm glad. So today we decided, because we do have a segment called Keeping It Real. So today's going to be a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So if you're listening, we want you to just relax, sit back, because there's no pressure. We're just going to enjoy the show. We're just going to wing it, because sometimes winging is the best. So without our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So we'd like to thank Basin Cellars, Home NV/Family Home Project. They have partnered together, which love our new show. That's the second Wednesday of the month, where the sidewalk meets the door. Home meets the home.
Sidewalk meets the home.
Sidewalk meets the home. I got to make sure I get that right. Surratt Law Practice Kim, she's been with us forever. Wild River Grille, and I'm just excited to have all them. And of course, Dee James. We're going to talk a little bit more about the song you're hearing, because Kristian, he's got some good news on that aspect. And Caliber Hair and Makeup Salon. So let's get back to a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I had a little bit of a lot this last week.
Ooh.
We launched 2 new locations for About Town Deb Wine and a new one for Crystal Basin Bubble. So the first one was last Tuesday night. We were at The Row, which those of you who are new to the area or listening from out of the area, The Row is now a combination of Eldorado, Silver Legacy, and Circus. 3 long time, forever, amazing casinos, amazing. So now they're all under one roof, The Row, and they're part of the Caesars Entertainment now. So Roxy's is one of their really beautiful, a little bit higher end, really nice. So they are now carrying my About Town Deb Red Blend. So I'm really excited. We had a great launch. And then on Wednesday, if you're familiar, Mari Chui, Jesus, he has 3 locations now. He has one in Midtown, which has the About Town Deb Red Blend. He has one in Sparks by the movie theater.
Yep, Victorian Square.
A little bit different. There's different themes, but the first one of the new ones was in Midtown. Now he's at the Village at Ranchera. Have you been to the Village at Ranchera?
I haven't been to that one.
What the heck?
I live in Sparks, so
well,
I just go to the one in Victorian Square.
Hello? Yeah. I try to venture out to Sparks.
True.
We're going to be doing, I need to cover more Sparks, because really Sparks is just as incredible as Reno. They just don't get enough love. So we're going to be giving some more love to Sparks. So the Village is incredible. It was part of the old Ranchera, the Ranchera estate.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? It's community. They have beautiful new homes, and it is incredible. Dorinda's Chocolate is there, who supports me. Dulce Vita Spa. Actually, both of them have the wine. A lot of really cool places. They're all only local businesses. Mm-hmm. So the cool thing is now they're carrying my wine, and which is Crystal Basin produced, and also the bubbles. So we had a wine pairing dinner there. So that was a success. And then I ventured off my normal whiny thing. Not that I'm a whiny. I don't really whine. But Noble Pie Parlor, they have a location in Midtown in the Summit, and they also carry my wine. I'm really happy about all this. So they invited Reno, I Haung. Hung.
That sounds about right.
Hung. She's a food and travel content creator, and her hashtag is Reina is crazy. RAINAIS crazy. So she's this young gal, adorable, tiny little thing, and she enters in food competitions where it's not just the quantity or the timing; it depends on the contest. So she was there, and I got to meet her, and I was so surprised she was such a tiny little thing. So she, it was called Woman versus Food. She ate a 20-inch pizza, and she picked onions and basil for her pizza. Atomic wings. They have the hottest wings. 24 of those, 20-inch pizza, and a big pitcher of Diet Coke. And it took her 15 minutes, 33 seconds. 15.33.06. And anyway, so it was to prepare for their Noble Has Their Eats of Strength charity event coming up. So one's going to be at June at Midtown and the other's in August at the Summit. So anyway, that was mine. I was out and about. What about you?
Oh, it's been a busy week. Just moved into a new place. So
in Sparks. And
okay. Anytime you move, it's, everything that goes with it, having to rent the truck and get the guys. And
so who does your packing?
I do.
So you do all your own packing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That way I know where everything is.
So do you wrap everything in the bubbles and the newspaper and get your hands all,
Normally I would if it was a longer move.
Oh, so this was a shorter move.
It was pretty close. So, for the most part, it was just kind of bringing things over in bits and pieces. And, ultimately everything's in. Now I've got to figure out what furniture I need.
Oh,
so I got a good amount of furniture, but
there's a lot of really cool consignment places that saves money, and there's also Goodwills, and there's all kinds of stuff. So anyway, I'm excited for your new move.
I am too.
We want you to get rested up because we want to keep you busy with all of us, keeping all of our podcasts going. So it's almost time for our first break, and we come back. We will be talking about a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but a lot about you. And if you're interested in any kind of podcast stuff, so hang tight at City Talk with About Town Deb. We'll be right back.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
After having my child, I was just thinking that I wanted to kind of get back to the size I was when I was breastfeeding. When I first came in, I didn't know if I wanted to go under or over, what size I wanted. I feel like they really took the time to educate me on all of my options. I've had a bunch of different questions. Paul himself has called and checked in with me. I was really expecting to be in a lot more pain than I was. It was a lot more pleasant than I was expecting it to be.
Saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at fenixmedia.us.
She's out on the road and all over the web with a big smiling heart. It's About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, your host. Once again, we're at the National Automobile Museum right by the river in Reno, Nevada. So all of you listening out there, we're at Reno, Nevada. We got to make sure we pronounce that right.
It's not Nevada.
I know, but man, if you say that, I didn't say it. You said it wasn't. I'm not getting flack. But we love our state, and we love your states as well. But before we get started, I used to do a quote. So I'm going to do a quote, and it's about wine. Then I'm going to cheers my amazing producer engineer Kristian with FenixMedia.us, and then we're going to ask him a little bit of this and a little bit of that about how we do this. And if you're listening, maybe you've thought about doing this. So we're gonna get the insight. So let's do a cheers.
All right.
This is with my About Town Deb red blend. It's Merlot, Mourvedre, Grenache, and Zin out of the Sierra foothills. We're gonna have a cheers. Here we go. I'm putting it way over here though, so I don't bump it. So I'm gonna do the quote right now. This is perfect because Kristian is one of these who we're going to be talking about. Wine and friends are a great blend. Ernest Hemingway. So be sure to share on your social media or just share a glass of wine. Even if you don't drink wine, share a beautiful cup of coffee, a soda with somebody you care about, and just tell them thank you. So Kristian, thank you for being producer, engineer, and a friend.
You're welcome.
And you always step up for all of us. So if you're listening out there and you've ever thought about a podcast or you've thought about a radio segment, any of that, or you need a commercial, or you don't even know where to start, Kristian, tell me how all this starts and tell me where you're at right now. I know you have a show, a sports betting show.
Yes.
Saying you bet your ASS.
And it's funny you put it that way. I'll get back to that in a second.
See how funny that is. So it's all the mic is yours, my friend.
I appreciate that. No, it's one of those things that I've been in the space for so many years doing podcasting before podcasting was really a thing anybody knew. And, now everybody knows what podcasting is. It's taking over for talk radio.
Yes.
And, it's more accessible. There's a niche for every little thing. But what I found through, obviously running the radio station where, we first met and putting podcasts together is everybody thinks they can start a podcast, but it's something different to maintain a podcast.
I totally agree. It isn't the same with, like, if you're on the radio and you have a radio show as well, people think it's so much fun, but they don't realize every week, or depending if you're daily or weekly, it's content. It's content. And then you need someone like you to produce it.
And that's the thing. A lot of people think that they sit down in front of their computer with their
camera on.
Their earbuds and their camera on, and, they push a button, they record for half hour, whatever it is. They put it out to the world, and all of a sudden they've got millions of followers.
Ooh, I hope so.
Which would be nice.
Oh, you're saying it doesn't really
quite
work like that.
way. No,
how come that hasn't worked? Okay.
There's so much to it. Content is just one portion of it. And so in starting Fenix Media, what I really wanted to do was allow the content creators and hosts to put all that stuff together, and we take care of the rest. So, putting graphics together and engineering and the sound and the look and the feel and the promotion, the distribution. A lot of people put it out on, the free distribution channels like, Podbean, for instance, and think that people are going to come to them.
Oh, is that a whole different? I've never heard of that.
No, there's so many.
That's a free platform.
That's a free platform to host your show with, which is great, but there's so much that goes into it. And so, hey, I just did what you did.
I like it. 25 cents. You bumped the mic.
But, for your show, for instance, you're on over 20 plus platforms. It has to go out on time each week.
Consistent.
There has to be consistency. So, that's what Fenix Media was all based around, was, helping content creators create. We take care of the rest. And then, from that, it's just sort of spawned into multiple different things. And so my background is in audio engineering and digital marketing, which is perfect for this.
I would say it fits quite well.
It really does.
With that.
It really does. And then, over the last year, it's been great making partnerships with the Automobile Museum. It's a hard word to say.
I told you.
Yeah.
They all make fun of me when I say that. His turn now.
And this is a great space for interviews like this. And then the other partnership that I started was with a place called Musician Rehearsal Center.
I'm excited to hear about that because I had no idea that you were in that as well. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, my friend.
And the odd thing is they've been around for 10 years. Unless you're a musician, you really don't know that they even exist. And they have a really great studio stage where a lot of the touring bands would come in, prep for their tours, and, they would rehearse on a stage environment, but it was never really being utilized. So about 6 months ago, it was bought up by a new group through just happenstance, happened to, kind of network with these guys. And we've been doing a lot of really fun things together, including creating that space, which is sort of a sound stage where people can come in and do their own productions.
So is that in Reno, Carson, Sparks? Where is it? Can we say?
Yeah,
is it like
it's in Sparks.
It's in Sparks.
Greg and McCarran.
Okay, I know where that is.
Yeah. And the other thing that we're doing is we've created a whole recording studio. So I engineer out of there. That's where I do most of my work from.
I love it.
And then we're doing productions with everything from locals only to rising stars, people who just gotten signed by bands, to really big names, which we're getting ready for our first one. That concert series is called Live at Lose.
Live at Lose.
Yep. And our first artist is going to be Daughtry, who is, I think he was a season 2 American Idol finalist.
Awesome.
Has, multiple platinum records, a huge following.
That's a big deal. And he's really coming to your guys' studio. Yep. That's exciting.
And so we're doing sort of a Storytellers meets Unplugged. If you remember the old VH1 MTV.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Really high quality, sound and video and all of that. And going to do a regular concert series based around that for those different levels.
Oh my gosh.
And the nice thing about MRC is that it can be rented out. So, hosting events there.
Oh, so events, not just the music stuff.
Yeah.
You could actually do like About Town Deb could do an event there.
Absolutely.
A wine event.
Engagements, a wine event.
Oh, wow.
Receptions,
quinceañeras,
so many different things.
You know what? I get asked a lot of time for venues. I can't wait to take a tour and see what it's about.
Yeah. And it's a great sort of blank slate. And so we've got a lot of plans to make it very customizable, but it's one of those things that timing just worked out really well. My partnership with them, my partnership with the Auto Museum,
and me,
and of course
you're listening. It's
I mean, we've been together. What?
I know.
2.5 years?
I don't know. It's been a while, but I got to say, I'm just really grateful that you happened to be at America Matters when I was there, and I had taken a little breather because I went to Shamrock, and then I came back, and it's all about timing, and it's all a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like we kind of. Dip our toe in this and dip our toe in that. And we just if you're listening, you know what? We all do that. We all have to change hats. We all have to, veer off the roadside a little bit, but we always come back to people and the communities that support us. And I feel like I've said that a lot this year with the last 2 years. And 2022, I'm thinking is all of our year to make a difference and to really step up. And you have helped me and all the other podcast members who are part of this team really step up. See, 25 cents, I hit it. So it's just really important. I feel like this year, especially, surround yourself with people who hold you up. It's such a big deal. And so with your new partnership, can you say how did that come about?
So it actually came from what I do in the broadcasting sector. There was a live stream benefit concert 7 months ago. I want to say it was.
Where was it at?
Reno Palooza. It was at the Alpine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. And so one of my partners through MRC, he was one of the artists. His cousin, who is now my cinematographer partner, was shooting it. And then we were doing a live broadcast as well, and just got talking. Everything sort of came together. And, it's worked out really well.
So what does MRC stand for?
It's Musician Rehearsal Center. So
I like
in addition to the stage, they also have 50 rehearsal rooms. So if you're an artist
50?
or a band,
How big is this? How big is this space?
it's a big industrial space.
You know, that's honestly, if you're listening, and I know especially there's always a lot of people in the music industry that are looking for sound stages or places like that.
Yeah.
So that's a great one because they do, like people come to Reno, Nevada all the time to produce stuff. We got to get you hooked up with. We have a lot of local people here doing, film industries as well.
Well, and that's the thing.
And hopefully, maybe already hooked up with some of them.
Well, we're actually trying to create that network right now.
I'll help you.
So
I got it.
everybody in the sort of creative space in Reno, we're looking to get together and figure out how we can all work together. Because right now it's a little segmented.
I know, but I gotcha. I know. My mind is already spinning. That's what we do. The wine is to connect people. So that's a big part of it. So I had no idea you were doing that. I really like that.
Yeah, keeping me busy.
It's keeping you busy. Okay. So tell me a little bit about your sports show. I love that you bet your ASS.
Yeah, so we thought it would be a fun thing to do. I do it with my podcast partner for that show, the G-Man.
The G-Man. I actually know a G-Man too.
Not the same one.
No, we already discussed
We've
that.
talked about
if
that.
you're listening, G-Man, it's not you.
But, we do a sports betting show. He's been a long time sports bettor. I'm huge into fantasy sports, and it kind of worked out really well. And the problem is it was originally called You Bet Your Ass.
It like really
ASS.
Okay.
But Zuckerberg doesn't like that so much, so we had to actually change the name recently.
So did you have to put A period, S period, S period?
No.
Or what did you say?
We just went with our friends overseas in Britain. It's You Bet Your Arse.
Oh, so how would that be spelled?
ARSE.
Yeah, arse. You bet your arse.
Exactly.
Like arse. It's kind of clever. I like it. Okay.
And it gets past those Facebook filters that for whatever reason, we're constantly battling with,
So speaking of that, it's almost time for break. We come back though. Maybe we could talk a little bit about the ins and outs of that because you have to fight that all the time with my stuff. We'll do a little bit of technical stuff. So it's about Tom Deb with City Talk. I'm here with Kristian. He's my engineer, my producer, phoenixmedia.us, and he also has his own sports show. You bet your what? Arse. Be right back.
After having my child, I was just thinking that I wanted to kind of get back to the size I was when I was breastfeeding. When I first came in, I didn't know if I wanted to go under or over, what size I wanted. I feel like they really took the time to educate me on all of my options. I've had a bunch of different questions. Paul himself has called and checked in with me. I was really expecting to be in a lot more pain than I was. It was a lot more pleasant than I was expecting it to be.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m. and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow. But shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at fenixmedia.us.
You know that's what you said. Come on, let's have some fun with About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town, this is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. I am your host, Debbie McCarthy. We are at the National Automobile Museum. I'm getting good at that.
Yeah.
In Reno, Nevada, right by the river in the Riverwalk District. So if you're listening and you ever want to come to Reno, we can hook you up between all of us. So we were chatting a little bit about podcasting and getting started, and it's not quite as easy as getting in front of a mic and just chatting. There's many things you need to do on the other side of it to get it out there and get out there in the right places. But we're going to have another toast really quick.
All right.
We're going to have a toast because friendships are amazing. And that's what I love to connect. So he didn't take a sip, but I'm going to, so it's okay.
I will. Sorry. If you guys are watching, I'm engineering the show at the same time I'm on the show. So.
Yeah. And so when you saw me with my camera, I was actually filming Kristian so that I could use it as a clip. So there you go. So we wanted to chat about the ins and outs of the whole podcast. So not only have content, when we first started many of my different shows I've had, you need to have some kind of a music bed or some kind of a lead in. And I really didn't have one a couple years ago. And I said, Kristian, I really need to find one. So with the station we were at, tell us a little bit about, you paid, like the station pays for the rights, blah, blah, blah. Then you pick a song. I picked a song. It was one that was proved, we put the little thing, you could talk about that. And we still got issues. So I'm going to let you talk about what happened with me and why we end up with my song.
Yeah. So any music that goes out publicly, we want to make sure that the artists get paid for their work.
Yes.
Well, when it comes to radio stations or podcasts, or really if you're out at a bar or a bowling alley and they're playing music, they need to carry music licenses.
Which you have.
What they do, which I do carry, which the radio station carried as well. There's two big ones here in the U.S., BMI and ASCAP.
Okay.
And, they're not cheap, but they're vital for what you do. The big thing is, you're allowed to broadcast based on whatever your use group is, any popular song. I mean, they cover 99.9% of everything that's out there.
And the one I picked was Uptown Girl by Billy Joel.
Yep.
And it's like, it fits City Talk, Uptown Girl. It fits on the Town Tuesdays, which I had. It worked great.
Yep.
But what would happen to me, and you'd have to keep saying, okay, we got to do this. So share a little bit about the ins and outs of that.
Yeah. So while we pay to have permission to broadcast that, put it out, you've got Facebook, you've got YouTube, which have AI filters, which...
What is that?
Not augmented, artificial intelligence that go through and they basically listen for popular music, because most people who are on Facebook and they put popular music up, they haven't bought the licenses. They don't have the permission. So they're automatically either muted
or flagged
or completely removed. At which point we'd have to go in and dispute each of these with our licenses. And, YouTube, it was usually fixed within 24 hours. Facebook.
I don't remember, because all I know is every week I'd say, help, Kristian. I'm getting another one saying I don't have permission. And having an engineer and having somebody on your side helps tremendously, because Kristian every week would walk me through it till I finally got, okay, now I'm doing this all the time. And then it would take out the music of it. It was horrible.
Right. And especially as soon as you go live, a lot of people are hearing you on that first run through. And so if it's muted or it's not in there, then, it sort of lessens that experience for the listener or the watcher. So we decided, okay, there's one of two ways we can go. You could create original music, which obviously don't fall under those licensing restrictions, or you can pick non-copyrighted music, which, there's libraries out there. You can find it everywhere.
Yeah.
But for most people, that's the best way to go.
You mean to do your own or do the non-copyright?
To do the non-copyright music.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to find. It's, you don't have to know any musicians. Luckily,
I do. No, but you know what? You're totally right about that, because I've been using Canva. So we are talking a little bit of education here. I didn't want to use Canva in the beginning. I was very intimidated. So I decided, oh my gosh, because if you're out there, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a Facebook, Instagram account, and you want to step up your game, you really do need to do more videos.
Yes.
You need music, you need videos. So I got the free version first. So get the free version if you're listening, please. There's plenty of it. And then I decided, well, I think I hit within 2 months, I did 500 different videos. So I'm like, well, I guess I qualify to spend it's not very much a month. So now I have that. And speaking of that, when you're in it, there's an audio part where you can pick your music. Right. So that's what's really cool, because it gives you an option to say copy, so you can give credit to the person on there and it's still free.
Right.
So that's what I've been doing. And it really makes a huge difference, because even having the music bed, which I'm learning, the very quiet music below if people are talking, I do that from my show as well. But what I decided to do, because I've been in Reno a long time. And when I first had one of my first shows, I would interview lots of the local musicians, and they were all just starting out. And also I spent a lot of time in the Placerville, Sierra Foothills area. So being out and about as About Town Deb over in the Placerville area, there was lots of local musicians as well as in Reno. So I bonded and made really good friendships, because I promote them just because I like to promote local. So when you said to me, Deb, you need to find somebody to create a song. So D.D. James, who is the one who we say every week, I thank him. I literally called him up one day and said, hey, not that I need a whole song. I need a jingle. I need a jingle. So he knows me pretty well, which helps. So whoever you do get, you really want them to know your spirit, to know your style.
Exactly.
Because really, if you get somebody who doesn't know you, then it's going to take twice as long. So he asked me a few questions that he already kind of knew the answers, but he wanted my spontaneous, like literally I'm at the grocery store, mind you, shopping, because he called me right back. What do you need? So I answered the question. He goes, okay, give me 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay. So within the time I walked in the grocery store and walked out, he had sent me a jingle. We're talking 20 minutes.
A full song.
Yeah. So he had most of the song. And then he said, I'm going to ask you a few more questions. And he created the song. And to do it properly, you need to have all the other music with it. He said, Deb, I can't ask him to do all of that. He did the song as a friendship.
Right.
And I love the song. It is so me. And he also brought in Reno in it, which we have. Nobody's heard the full song yet. So when you hear the full song, and speaking of the full song, I reached out to, of course, who do you go to? People you trust and your friends. I said, Kristian, you had said to Deb, we got to work on this. We need to expand it. So if you're listening and you do have a jingle or a song and you have the words, but you don't have all the rest, which you can explain what I mean by all the rest. Tell us what you're doing for me to get to that next stage with my song.
Yeah, so essentially what D.D. James put together was a demo.
So okay.
It's him and a guitar, decent recording quality, but not...
Which is what you're hearing.
Exactly, not studio level, and it doesn't have the full orchestration with all of the different parts as part of it. And so we've been talking for a while that...
a long time.
Whoever it may be, whether it was D.D. James, somebody else, we want to get that full song put together so that way you had a quality recording. And so through this partnership with Musician Rehearsal Center and my recording studio, we are set up for full production.
It's so exciting.
And so, we've been talking about, the style, the vibe, the arrangement.
So you sent me two different samples and you know me pretty darn well. So when you sent me two samples and I picked the second one. Is that one you thought I'd pick?
So sort of meshing those styles a little bit,
it was really good.
And, Matt Reardon, who is my partner at MRC, he's been in the music scene here in Reno forever. He's part of a band called Black Sunshine, which they had a top 40 hit a few years back. And, so he's the one that I'm working with to arrange this, put it all together and record it.
So speaking of that, I'm just going to throw this out. One of my favorite songs to sing, and I annoy George and everybody, is the Bob Marley song, 3 Little Birds. I will only know the refrain, and anytime anybody's playing and I get up on stage and I sing it, is there any way, would it be weird to have me like sing a little part of it? Like even if it was, is it weird to have, yeah, he's saying it.
No, I'm thinking there might be a way to incorporate.
I'm just saying it would be like, I'm like the part where it's like I'm out on the road, I mean, whatever, because it's me saying I'm out on the road. It's your cup of tea. And I love to do that. Maybe we'll do a video. Oh my gosh. So
we've got guys for that too.
So this is how magic happens, guys. This is why friendships, as again, I'm bringing this all back together. The more that you connect with people you trust, the more that somebody says, hey, can you connect me? Then they connect you, you connect them. And then you don't know on down the line. Like with Kristian, I had no idea he was going to say, Dad, we got to work on this song. I didn't know he was going to be partnered with MRC.
Easiest way to say it.
MRC. And so now we're in the process of picking the tone, getting a quote, and maybe I'll get to put some headsets on. And even if I don't want to sing the song, I just want to be, what's it called when
you have you like background vocals?
I want to do a background.
All right.
Yes. And you could do it with me.
Yeah.
Yay! Yeah. This is how magic happens.
We can harmonize. You can hit the high.
I hit the low. You have to hit the high.
I don't know if I can hit that.
I don't think you can. I don't know. But no, I'm really excited about that. But so if you're out there, and it doesn't really matter what state you're in, because we have an international airport, which we're going to be talking about. Oh, actually next week. We're going to be having Richard J. and Jennifer Baker representing the Reno International Airport, talking about all the cool local stuff they do in the arts and the culture. So you can fly right in there and we can hook you up. We know all the places to stay and you could do your recording.
Yeah. We've got we've got great rates. We work efficiently, and it's one of those things that everything is set up sort of the same way that I set up Fenix Media, where it's very turnkey, but it's customized to each of the individuals.
Well, because you have quite a few podcasts that are here.
Correct. Yeah.
So one of my favorites is Brett and Brett. Is it Brett meets, what's
Brit on Blast.
Brit on Blast.
Yep.
So Britton Murdoch Nunn has been a close friend of mine, and I am so proud of her. She used to always be on my show, and now she has her own show. And she's such a doll, and she really cares, has a huge heart. So they came to you, and now they have an amazing show. And it just shows that really it's that connecting.
It is.
And everybody has a story. And I know we would love to hear your stories. So you're always welcome to either contact Fenix Media or contact About Town Deb. And, can we do these? Like if somebody zooms in, or I always say Zoom, but really it's probably...
Yeah.
How does that work?
We did it all through COVID.
Yeah. So if they're listening and they would love to be on either of our shows, if they're a sports nut, how would they go about that?
I've got software set up that sets all of that up. One of the shows that I produce, I've got one guy in Idaho, one guy in Colorado, and their guest comes in from wherever across the country.
Okay. Well, we're going to take another break and then we're going to come back. It's About Town Deb with City Talk. We'll be right back.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What? Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this. To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at fenixmedia.us.
Ready to help from her toes to her head. Just give her a shout. Call About Town Deb.
My town, your town, or any town. This is About Town Deb presents City Talk. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to City Talk. I'm About Town Deb, Debbie McCarthy, your host. I have my amazing producer engineer, FenixMedia.us, Kristian. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's our last segment. It goes by too fast. So that is a good thing because, we're just, since we're going to go back to a little bit of content. We all know this, and you've been engineering and producing so many shows that sometimes you go on and think about who you're inviting on your show. Number one. Mm-hmm. Make sure that they fit your personality. I think it's important to me. I love doing a lot. I'm not a serious person. I mean, today I'm not really goofy, but I do better when I have guests who are more uplifting than very serious, like, oh my gosh, the end is happening. You don't want me to ever host a show like that because I'll just stop talking and cry. So it's really important to pick your guests that go with what your topic is. Is that?
It is. Well, not only that, but, you talk to a lot of people who want to start a podcast and you say, okay, you can do a half hour, you can do an hour, whatever sort of that segment of time is. And most people go, well, I can do a half hour, but what am I going to talk about for that long? They realize very quickly that a half hour isn't enough.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't enough. Yeah. So before we go on we're going to have some fun wine chat. Is there anything what would be your top 3 suggestions if they're listening or they are listening, if they were thinking about doing a podcast? What would be the top 3 things they should consider before that?
The 2 things that you really have to concentrate on are content, which you talked about, and quality. People will tune out if it's not one or the other. So it has to be both. So if it's a, great content, but a terrible recording, people will tune out very quickly.
And I'm apologizing now. I've had many of those that's happened to.
And it happens.
And it happened more during COVID. Yep. Because I was in my extra bedroom with my podcast and people, another good tip. If your guest is calling in or zooming in or however you want to say that, Kristian would say, Deb, he would give him all the links to check the connection.
Yes.
That is so important.
Internet is key.
So internet. Make sure you have a good quality streaming going through. So that's that. Was that 3 or did I?
Well, it was 2.
2. Okay. What's the third? Give me one more.
Third would be find other shows that you like, emulate, but make your own.
You know what? I agree. I really wasn't a podcast because my format in the beginning was more radio because, then all of a sudden, people
we brought in the video element.
We brought in it. So I actually started, and I'm also a brand ambassador influencer. And like Kristian said, he started doing this before I was doing what I was doing before it was even out there. I mean, at America Matters, Nevada Matters first, they hired me to take photos of the guest on set. And then I said, wait a minute, I'm going to bring my laptop. So I would be on Facebook and I would say, hey guys, tune in to the live stream, because it was live streaming. I would be on Facebook chatting what we're talking about and messaging people to tune in. And nobody was doing that. And I would take photos and put them on that. And now it all happens like this. So really, we both kind of are jet setters.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where we're going to jet set next, but we are. But I'm going to do one more toast to Crystal Basin. And speaking of that, white wine is in the works. Did I tell you that? So Mike Owen with Crystal Basin has a Sauvignon Blanc that is incredible. And we wanted to go mix or create or blend. I got to get better. That's why we're going to have some wine questions coming up. Blend a white blend for me. We had the appointment at Miraflores Winery in Sierra Foothills, and then the fires hit up there. So that did not happen. So we weren't able to, another 25 cents. Okay. Anyway, it didn't happen. So when you blend a wine, it takes a really long time to get the wine produced and in the barrels. And everybody's like, Deb, you need a white. So Mike goes, I have this amazing Sauvignon Blanc that I have extra of. They're unlabeled. Would you like them? So he came to town for our 2 events, and I went out and did some sampling with other clients that we have, and they loved it. I loved it. So Design on Edge is creating a white label that will match my my label now. So you will be having an About Town Deb Red, and is the same. We'll be donating a portion of every bottle to the Children's Cancer Foundation. So nice. I'm excited with that. So
now, if people wanted to buy those individually, can they still go to abouttowndeb.wine?
Yep, you can go there. The white wine's not there yet, because we have to get, it's a process. The label has to be approved. It's a big deal. So we're in the process of doing that. Everything's a process now. Everything is done. You got to pass all your little rules, and everybody put their stamps on it.
Especially when it comes to alcohol.
Alcohol is really tough. Yeah. So that's another thing. If if it's easier when, if you want to donate the wine or you want to have wine for a business, we can get you your own private label. Mm-hmm. And then you can have the wine as a giveaway, as a takeaway for your clients. So that's another thing you could do, which is kind of fun too. Like if you have a Christmas party, a birthday party, a wedding, you're more than welcome to contact, and we could do your own private label, or you can have my label and know that you're making a difference. Either way. Perfect. So I'm going to put some questions out, because I'm not really, I always tell people I am not the expert. I take you to the expert. So here's one of the first questions. So if you're listening, I want you to think about this, and you can answer along with us. When at a restaurant in a small amount of wine is poured to taste, the purpose here is to A, see if you like the wine. B, make sure it is the wine you thought it was. C, make sure the wine is not spoiled.
Is there D, all of the above?
Nope. And just so if you're watching on that, I do have it covered. So I don't know what the answer is. I'm going to say, what do you think?
I think it's C.
I want to say it is C, because I have had that happen to me. So it says, yes, it is C. The sole purpose of this is to make sure that the wine is not defective. If the wine tastes off, but you're not sure if it's spoiled, ask the waiter. If you just do not like the taste of the wine, try it with your food, because it really does change the effect. If you still don't like it, then chalk it up to experience. Okay. So here's another one. Why? I have no idea. I haven't pre-looked at these guys. Why should you drink dry wines before sweet wines? A, to make the sweet wine seem less sweet. B, to make the sweet wine seem full-bodied. C, to prevent the dry wine from seeming overly dry. Why should you drink dry wines before sweet wines? To make sure this, I don't know.
I would say make the sweet wine less sweet.
To make the sweet wine less sweet. I'm going to say.
Just a guess.
A guess. You know what? I'm going to say A with you. Oh, we're wrong. It is C.
It is C.
To prevent the dry wine from seemingly overly dry. If you were to drink the sweet wine first, the dry wine might seem over pleasantly dry. Generally, you should drink dry before sweet, white before red, light before heavy. Now that I do know, doing wine tastings. Following this order allows you to enjoy multiple wines without having any one wine dominate your senses.
Interesting.
So today we were going to be doing a tasting today, and they weren't feeling well, so we're not. So that's why I'm prepared with these questions. Okay, this one, I won't answer this one because I can't pronounce the word in it. So that would be a Debbie talk. So I'm going right to I'm just being honest. Okay, here we go. Oh, where's the question? Here we go. Nope, that's not the question. Well, let's just try this. What is the dominant grape in a Chianti wine? Chianti. Chianti. C8. Anyway, C-H-I. Yeah, Chianti. Yeah. So what is the dominant grape? Sangiovese, Zinfandel, or Dolcetto? Sangiovese, Dolcetto, or Zinfandel? The dominant grape.
I'm not up on my grape horticulture, so
I'm just going to say it's A. Because I cheated.
Then I'll say A.
Sangiovese. This is always the main grape in a Chianti, and it's usually blended with a smaller percentage of other grapes as well.
And it goes well with fava beans.
What's fava beans? Are you pretending?
No, it's the Silence of the Lambs reference. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. They always do this to me. You know what the heck? Okay, here we go. This is another kind of a wine question. Well, they're all wine. Black pepper, plum, and blackberry flavors describe which wine? Beaujolais, did I say that right? Beaujolais.
I believe so.
Syrah, Pinot Grigio. I think it's A. No, I think it's B. I think it's B, because it's like bold.
Yeah, my gut says Syrah as well.
Because it's bold. We got one right. Syrah. It's the most common red wine grape in Australia and comes in a variety of styles. Typically, there will be a black peppery or spicy qualities when it's young. When it ages, the fruit flavors like blackberry and plum become more pronounced. Oh, I sound fancy.
Ooh.
It's almost time. So that's all we're going to do for questions. So I want to, number one, thank Kristian here. Tell us if you are interested in doing a podcast, if you're interested in doing a recording, any of the above. Tell us how we get a hold of you and what their first step should be.
Easiest thing, just email Kristian, that's Kristian at fenixmedia.us, and Fenix is Fenix media.us, or you can just go to the website at fenixmedia.us.
That's pretty easy. And I always do a shout out to Grandma B and Aunt Ellie. So thank you. They are both in Palm Desert right now, enjoying the beautiful sunshine, which we didn't get today. So we thank you for listening. It is About Town Dub City Talk. I got Kristian here. Next time he will be behind the curtain, darn it. You can all follow us at fenixmedia.us, About Town Dub. And next week, we are, as we said, we're going to be talking with two of my peeps from the Reno Tahoe International Airport, sharing all the goodness that they are doing. And I cannot wait to see you next week. It's About Town Dub with City Talk.